Holy Sky Bean, and welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast. More on that later. Hello, everyone. We're back again. Like, it's full house, and it's great. Today, we are going to be recapping certain people's opening day of Hyperia. So, James, we're kind of like just listening in on this show.
I'm Mikhail.
Yeah,
Mikhail was not there.
No, but I mean,
Mikhail was there. Do you not know?
Yeah, Mikhail was there.
Yeah, Mikhail actually flew over.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The potential of like me and James actually going on it like soon was going to be a thing.
So I was going to go on it on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday they said it was an opening. I was just like, okay, shit. It might open. And then fuck you, Paul. There you go. That's my
fault. The show, 2 minutes in, bashed Thorpe, literally. Like, fucking Thorpe.
That just sounds like the tears of people who didn't get to ride it.
Yeah. And so for the people who didn't get to ride it,
well, I'm glad I didn't have a 7-hour queue.
Would you like to tell us about your opening day experience?
Let's recap.
Let's live that through
what we saw from Media Day and you guys' opening days first before we get into the.
Let's just say hello to chat. So we've got Joe in the chat. We've got
I mean,
how we all doing? We're gonna go through everyone. We got Karen.
What's up, guys?
Bob. Got Matt. How we doing? We got Claire. We got Laura. Andrew. Oh, sorry, I don't know if there we go. But yeah, full house. There we go. Full house.
Bingo card.
So yeah, me and Emma and like the people we were with, we got there at pretty much bang on 7 a.m, didn't we?
It was the best time to get there. We realized.
Yeah.
We were the good time.
Yeah, that was
later. Would have been in trouble.
Any earlier, the gates seemed to be closed as well to the car park, so everyone was like queuing down the road. It seemed like.
Oh, with the Blackpool Pleasure Beach fan.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, we got there pretty chill. Got into the line, the pre cattle pen before we got into the park. We waited in there for like probably about I've lost track of time.
Not even that long, was it?
It didn't feel like that long.
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
Maybe like an hour. Then obviously we just got from there. We then got ushered into the turnstiles. That was pretty much similar. Well, security then turnstiles. And then that's where you had the two ways to go. Straight to the left to Hyperia, to the right to the rest of the park. And then we just kind of like went in there, kept walking down until we got to the first one, which is where that press tent was. That was like the first cattle pen. Waited there for a little bit. Did we even wait there? Yeah, we waited there for a little bit, didn't we?
We did, like an hour or so.
About an hour.
Is that where people were told that they would get a time when they would move later on in the day? Because
no, this was pre. I don't know. This was like early
before they were doing all that stuff. Yeah, it seemed to be really well organized, though.
Honestly,
it was so chill.
It was just like it was just chill. That's literally what it was. It was like there was no like chaos. There was no like people were like just quiet as well. Like it wasn't even let. Everyone was just like sitting down, had chairs,
very
chairs.
Early. Camping chairs. Whoever pulled that one off, that's a good.
Well, people had them like them
little stools
and stalls that everyone's got. Oh my god!
Mate, someone had 36 packets of kettle chips. Like it was all going on.
Yeah. Like,
let us know your Hyperia scran for the queue line.
Like a whole
get that in the comments.
He had like a crate of like kettle chips and
like 8 boxes of Ritz crackers. He had it all. He weren't going hungry. Put it that way.
I'm surprised they didn't get a hashtag or something. Hyperia scran.
Hyperia scran. Yeah.
You just see a bunch of random food start getting posted on Twitter and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like and then eventually we like moved down towards where the old Sort of Alive boat is still. We stayed there probably the longest, didn't we? I think that's where we stayed for like quite a while.
Yeah, they were doing the opening ceremony while we were there, weren't they? Because you could watch it on YouTube. So we watched it and kind of saw
We watched it live on YouTube, and then we could see like the smoke getting blown out, and then we could obviously see the coaster going down.
And the planes?
The planes, yeah.
Planes?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, them planes looked really cool.
That's where the budget went on the planes, man.
Yeah, literally went on the planes.
No theming. Planes.
Did they had fireworks attached to them or some shit? Like
on the media night.
On the media day. Like I was like, holy fucking shit.
For the actual opening day,
fireworks
that specialize in it in the UK.
That's cool.
So yeah, like we was there for a while. That was really good. Like honestly, if you did want to go to the toilet, I found out that you could. Like we didn't know this because none of us needed the toilet that bad, but you could actually get walked out the queue. Someone would just walk you and then walk you back.
Yeah,
someone did. Shout out to there was people in the holding area pen queue thing, taking orders for food and drink and bringing it to you. Granted, they was not bring us a pint at 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah,
no,
well,
later on, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They would literally like bring you like there's bringing like people like bacon, sausage.
I did see that some of the food and beverage team like literally made like what he had in cinemas. They went round with a tray of stuff. They had like Smirnoff ices and stuff. And buy it in the queue.
They had little ice creams with the wooden spoon. Well, it always tastes better for some reason.
But it was like, it was just so well done. If you need water, they'd go and fill up your water bottle for you. Giving you information. If you ask them like, stuff, they'd like be really open and honest about things.
Chris did ask whether while they were filling up his water bottle, if they would put sun cream on him as well, but he wouldn't have it. But then before you got in the onto the main plaza at the toilets, there was a toilet break before you got into the main queue, which was good. So they're essentially taking your whole group out.
Sorry, one sec. Oh my god, kettle chip, man. His crate broke. Oh, no way. Shout out.
Go ahead.
God bless. So they would take your whole group out of the queue. You would get a card with your number on and what time you left, and then everyone would go to the toilet, and then they would place you back in the queue. So it was good. No one was going to wee their pants in the queue.
We do, we love a toilet system. It was just the overall feeling was just like the overall feeling was just that they wanted, like, they put like guests' comfort first, and like it's just, it doesn't ever feel like that on any opening day. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like that. I don't know. It just felt really nice to be there. And
can we have a shout out for Karen's comment? We needed the time out of the queue for our golden moments.
A very golden day was had.
Yeah.
It was just nice. I mean, like going back to like Nemesis opening, we were like near the front of the queue on the plaza, but as soon as the gates open, obviously everybody legs it, everybody pushes you, everybody runs. It was chaos.
You learned from that,
and just having none of that was so nice. So when you were in the queue, when you got there, that's where you stayed in the queue all day. And it was just nice. You know what I mean? It was just nice to not have to stress. You're not constantly watching your back. People are pushing you. You're not losing your friend. Well,
had loads of space, like, what I mean? Like, so much space around you as well. It wasn't all like really thick. It was like big. There's a lot. It was very wide queues as well. So yeah, it was just good. And so I don't even know what order to do this. It just felt like such a. I will say that it was one of my favorite days I've had at a theme park. Like,
that's mad because like every time you've been to Thorpe, there's been some shittery going on.
It's always been so frustrating to me because like something has always happened when I've gone to Thorpe. Just something negative. Do you know what I mean? And it's not even the park's fault half the time. It's just like it's just like not But like even in like the queue line to like Hyperia, there's just like they have like a WhatsApp channel to like you can message if you're unsafe or anything like that. Like
they've got that around the park. I did see a lot of people on Twitter saying that they utilised that in terms of like queue jumpers and shit. Yeah, and it was dealt with so quickly, and it took away that element of like feeling intimidated, not wanting to say anything because if you've got groups of people, and it just took that away. Staff were just coming and taking people out of the queue, so It was a good thing to have.
Yeah, like there's nothing negative I can say about that day really. They just got it bang on, like they really knew what they was doing, and so yeah, shout out to Thorpe for that. And
it seemed like it was going to go one of two ways.
One or two ways,
Like, they were either going to absolutely kill it, or it was going to be a complete fucking disaster.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that it was that it was the first option. And like I don't know if anyone did or not, but I hope that at least some people just like gave the ride ups props for the entire day and showed them some love, because like they most likely won't have been used to working what will have turned out to be like a 12-13 hour full day like that.
I mean,
like,
I
don't know if Thorpe Park did like split shifts where like people would do like an open to.
There's definitely switches. There was because
like switched.
There was because I noticed like when for my first ride to my second ride there was a different crew there.
Oh really? Oh okay, that's good. Then.
Yeah, so they definitely did that.
Nice.
But and to be fair, like everyone in that station, like all the ride hosts and they are like just had like massive smiles on their faces, especially like when it was our two trains, we were just like cheering like mad.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like from getting in that queue to getting on the ride, people's morale and just constant cheering, constant excitement. Every time a train came out of that station, the whole queue line would cheer, and everybody in the queue was like, "Yes!" Because you knew someone on the train, and it was just. And I mean, the whole queue would cheer every single train that came out all day.
It was just funny because it was like because of the turnout of the station, it's like a stage. So it's like who's coming around the corner now, and everyone's like. So it's like it was great. Like it's such a cool way to start a ride. It's not as like it doesn't tip you out as much as like Untamed does, but like it's still just a nice way just to be like, okay, this is the start of it. They could have just literally just come around it, but to like bank it out was brilliant. So like let's get the positives I guess out the way, because like if we're going to do it stage by stage, it might sound like we're moaning. I don't really want to moan because really the negatives I have like don't even matter. They literally do not matter. So we finally got on I think we waited about 5.5 hours.
It's about 12, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By the time we got on.
Yeah. So
but
and that was average throughout the day, that wasn't it? Yeah.
I think like from being in the main queue though, we there was no standing still for ages. Like the queue consistently moved. Like there was a couple of like bits.
It went down quite a bit.
For like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like a turn it off and turn it on again situation.
Yeah,
like so you were barely stood still. So it 5.5 hours. It didn't feel like 5.5 hours at all.
No, it didn't really. So yeah, we got on it. And I got I think row 6. Yeah, you and Mikey got row 7. I think. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So like and it's just I don't know how to fucking like that. I don't know how to start, man. Like
I will go out.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts going up? What were your thoughts going up? Like
I was terrified, Mikhail.
Going out of the station. Going out of the station and then going up the lift.
But first of all, I was like, I can't believe I'm literally riding this but I've had that feeling quite a lot of times, and in coasters that you're just anticipating.
Yeah. Great.
But I was like, but then when I was going up, I was just like, I just couldn't stop looking all the way around me. I was like, you know what I mean? Like it was just there.
We haven't stopped climbing yet.
It was such a nice, like it's such a nice day as well, which obviously helped massively. But just like, I mean, as I was going up, I could see like, like the speedboats with the doing the water sports, like a guy and like fucking getting dragged along, and I was just like, and I was watching him, and then I looked around.
People still use those.
Yeah. Like it's
never seen them in use.
It's their own club. Like it's not part of Thorpe. It's like this like a water sport.
They usually do 2 passes.
Yeah, I know.
Opens and then when the park shuts.
I've just never seen anything happening on that lake.
I've seen it a few times. But like, it was just for that day. There was out in force because they must have known what was going on. But so like I was going up and then I was just looking around, and it was just that thought of like we got to the point where I'm like, okay, we're going down, and then we're not.
I looked to my right. When I looked to my right and saw the stall, I went, "That's really fucking high." And then I started to panic because I was like, "We are not near the top." Well, I pulled on going up. I was holding on so tight. I didn't want to look at anything.
But it just feels so tall because you're at
tall.
top, and everything else just looks so little. Like it's not even anything close to it, really.
And the only thing that comes even close to that height is on the other side of the park.
Yeah, you can't even see it. You can't really see it. Well, not that I noticed, but yeah. Then, so like the first drop, just
stupid.
Just silly. Stupid. Just probably one of the best drops I've done in the world.
Yeah, 100%. That just straight out, you see it.
Yeah, straight out. The Immelman just feels stupidly big as well. It just feels like silly. It just feels silly. But then
it doesn't lose any speed over it.
Nah, it's just straight over, like so fast, like
straight over fast.
stupidly fast, like stupidly fast. Like this thing is so fast, like
the videos I saw from that day of how it was running, like especially like in the evening and like as it got to like night ride hours, just stupid. Yeah, like fucking stupid. Like how did Mac put that together?
It's just like it feels Mac, but it also doesn't feel Mac. Like it feels feels nice and smooth, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't feel.
I kind of get what you're trying to say.
I'm not used to like that type of feelings on a Mac. Like you kind of got it a little bit with like Helix in on a night ride, but even then it doesn't come close. Like,
what in terms of like the strength of forces in general, or like the rate of force switching on it?
The aggression, because Helix is quite aggressive at night.
Just like the positive G's, like just having that much force. Like normally for me, I associate. I mean, to be fair, like Ride to Happiness has some really is quite intense moments, but this is like, I don't know. It's just weird. I've never done a hyper that's a Mac, so it's just weird. Thing to put together, like them two things for me is like a brand new feeling. So yeah, and then we go to whatever. I think Matt Ads nicknamed it in their chat the Chertsy Yeet.
It's an appropriate name.
Yeah, really Chertsy Yeet, which I really like that name. So so the Outer Bank. It took me the second go to really like appreciate that one, because when I first did it, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing to me? Sort of thing. Like, it's just, like what is going on? Like it's so much going on. But you are just like you just feel like you're getting tipped out of the train, like with the lap bars on as well.
It's bizarre feeling. I just was that as soon as I come into that, I was like, what am I doing? And it was weird. It was so bizarre.
I want to try it in the front row so bad, like that particular element in the front row, because like the way it looks like it just whips you the fuck to the left, like on entry, before you even get to the top. Like it just looks like it throws you to the left and then completely out of the train and just
it just, even mid-train to me, it just felt like you was getting dragged down out of it. Like it just felt you was getting dragged right out of it. But I think that I do it. I'm not like, I've only done I did a second row on my second go. So I got some of them sensations, and it was hard because obviously there's so many hours between when we between. But like to me, I preferred the front. I haven't done the back yet, but I remember Matt saying his first ride was a back row, and he was saying like he thought he was gonna, like, even on the first drop, he thought he'd get more of he thought it'd be more intense than it actually was.
Right.
So I do think
in the back or in the front.
He did it in the back.
Oh right, okay.
And he was expecting it to be a lot more forceful than it actually was. Which leads me to believe why everyone thinks it's like definitely a front row coaster, just for the forces as well. This is what I've been hearing.
Well, it's like the people I spoke to who were there, like they all said like the drop in the back row was everything they expected it to be.
Fair enough.
But then every other element was better in the front.
Yeah.
And judging by the videos that I saw, like the little clips of it running and stuff, I could see myself thinking the same. because everything looks like it just steamrolls into the highlight of the element in the front row, and then naturally, like when you get dragged out of the exit of each element, like the back row is going to be better. But so
you're saying it's got more kicking on the front through each element.
It seems that way. I don't know. Obviously, there, but like it seems that way. It seems like
what's funny with that is I get that on Icon sometimes. Like I feel like I could get more airtime and stuff on Icon and a bit more forces, especially around the turn over the entrance sign on Icon. Definitely get more G on the front on that.
I don't even know. It could even just be like psychologically because you're seeing more. You see,
it could be, because things move faster, don't they?
It almost doesn't matter though because you're still feeling it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't actually matter.
Though. It's cool. It's cool.
But and then let's just talk about the stall because to me, that stall is like it's just
it goes on forever. Goes on forever.
But it doesn't like it don't necessarily feel like you're hanging. Like it feels like
is it weightlessness?
It's weightlessness, and I hate to say
that's how zero G. I mean, it's like it's weightless.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be weightless through it.
That's how it's meant to be, but to me, it's never felt like that. Like, it's just felt like and I like that feeling as well. Like hanging on a stall is like it's cool. Like I like it, but
I always thought Zadra's stall felt like that.
Yeah,
like when it's running at the speed that it's supposed to. Like, like you feel weightless through the entire
thing.
A couple of Zadra rides I had hang, and then one or two I hit it at the right speed, and it was you just kind of floated.
I definitely think
it was weird.
From my perspective, like I think it's better than Zadra's stall, but that's just me. I think it's like it just goes on for so long. It goes on forever. And then like because of Sarge, because I did with Sarge so many times, and I started just like I found out the best way of doing it for me is just looking straight down. I love just looking straight down on the stall. That's what I inherently did. Like I just did it on the first go and I had on Hyperia, and it's just such a good feeling.
What I like why I like Zadra's stall so much is because like the feeling of weightlessness through the actual stall, but then the entry and exit are so like aggressively like you whip into it and then whip out like it's really aggressive, like just flipping you upside down. But what I'm curious with about Hyperia's stall is like how does it feel like being in the stall but then there's no whip out because it just turns into a dive loop.
Continuous,
I think that's what makes it feel so long.
Not like there's no back over upright instead just like going into a dive loop.
Still
I think that's what makes it feel so prolonged because you're not flipping straight out of it. You're just kind of falling out of it, if that makes sense. So I think that's why it was like, okay, this is a long time. Like straight back down. Yeah.
We'll come to comment soon.
The only style I've done is Velocicoaster, and that was strange.
That
was strange.
Velocicoaster is so different from every Velocicoaster is not a conventional stall.
It's just so flat. It's just
a lot of people say like it's their least favorite because of that, and I don't necessarily agree. Like it's just like it's focused on the speed at which you go through it. Because it just feels so fucking fast. It's so it's
and
just,
you come out the same way.
Trying to achieve something entirely.
It's like comparing like a B&M invert corkscrew to like just a conventional corkscrew. It's just it's almost it's just like different. It's not the same inversion, but it's also very different. Like
that's why to join in with being upside down for a while. That's
So everyone's talking about the splashdown, the trims and the splashdown. Like I never noticed them. But everyone I was with, like, severely noticed the trim.
I heard it was most noticeable on like mid train.
It was a feeling as if when you're driving and you go for a big puddle and you just kind of get that.
Well, that's it. I think that's kind of what it is. You know what? I think that is why I didn't notice it that much because you've got them like spray elements. It almost feels like you are like hitting
a puddle.
That's exactly how it felt. And when you get like the jets as well, it's like right, and it's like it was well good. But I did feel as though
I think the noise of the jets is kind of scary. It sounds like a machine gun. Like,
it made it so
that's
yeah,
that sounds cool as fuck.
when you hear them like go down the side.
I was like, as you go through.
Just knowing that from a POV, I have heard it. They do just shoot in succession.
Yeah.
They have to. That thing's traveling, man. Like that is.
But I never. But the thing is, coming out and doing that. I mean, it is a Stengel dive, right? Like to me, it's a Stengel dive, but that is so like way more like forceful, like proper airtime than I thought it was going to get on it.
Is it? That's good because I was wondering about that because
it's more. It's more so when you're like hitting the bottom of it, coming out of it, because you obviously get the trims, and then for me, like especially it's more noticeable on the front. I don't know if it's because of the front, but I found my body like getting ejected forward, like as I hit the bottom of it, and it was just like
kicked forward.
I loved that bit, and I was like the second time round, I really noticed that. And I loved that bit as well.
That was one of the ones like on the initial test runs where like just everything seemed to look like it hit like it was supposed to. I think that was the one element that I was like, ooh, that might need a bit of time to warm up still for it to feel as forceful as it ended up feeling. Yeah. But then like on videos of it like running in the evening, I was like, oh yeah, that in the back.
Yeah.
Like that on entry in the front and then on exit in the back, like it looks like
it was so funny. Hello. It's so funny though, because like
cool holidays
when we when we hit the break run, and this is before I'd spoken to anyone, because like everyone, like I think I spoke to Chris from Screw Loops the night before because he went to the press. I spoke to her a little bit, but I even said to Chris, I was like, don't give too much away because I've gone this far now. I just want to experience it. I want to, but like I hadn't really spoken to anyone, and now I've watched people's vlogs back. Everyone came off and said the same thing, and it's the same thing that me and Joe said to each other when we hit the break. When I was like, that didn't feel like it was in the UK. Like it just so weird.
Brilliant.
It was such a weird feeling. Like it didn't feel like. And I also watched some guys vlog. He's just like a YouTuber. He's not even an enthusiast. He was like an influencer or something. And I watched his vlog, and he clear that he just likes to go on roller coasters when he's near one or something. And his thing was like, oh my god, that felt like I was in America or something. Like, so it's just funny how everyone's saying that same thing, and it just is like it's
leaps and bounds above anything we've got, in my opinion.
Nothing you can't. Yeah, it's just
we all knew that was going to be the case,
as we all predicted.
Yeah.
But then to actually experience it and to be like, oh, I feel like I should be. I'm at an opening day in another country, like that feeling, and be like, no, we're at Thorpe Park. Like it's just weird.
It's crazy because you've got people that have got like mad stats on like creds and stuff, and to speak to people who have done hundreds and hundreds, and they were like, oh, top 10 straight away after one ride. Like, don't even have to think about it. That's how good it is. And speaking to people that have got like over 1,000 creds, and they'll be like, top 10 straight away.
Yeah,
it's stupid. It really is.
There were people who came over from the US who were saying the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I did see a few comments.
How many awards do you think it's going to get?
All the awards.
How many awards?
Yeah.
I don't know. All of them?
I think it'll get.
I'm not sure. Like which?
Could literally be like. I think it could win a lot, just because of how well received it's been. While it's been open.
When you say awards, do you mean what, the clamshells or
no? Like
what?
You have like the golden tickets and stuff like that, don't you? And and stuff.
Oh, industry
stuff,
things.
like industry led awards and stuff.
Oh right, okay.
I feel like it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna really fucking shake the earth basically, and because it's about time.
Oh god, I think I wasn't the only one that. In the run up to it, everybody's like, oh, it looks short, oh, it looks this, oh, it looks that. I was excited for it, but I never expected it to blow my fucking mind like it did. And it was another moment where I got off and I was like, holy shit. Like, never in a million years would I have thought it rode the way it rode. And I think everybody had the same thing where they were like, fuck me. Like, what was that? Like, it's a blur.
Yeah. I was expecting big things. Like I was expecting big things from this, and it was completely surpassed all of it. Like I didn't. I come off going like I think that's in my top 10 on the first ride. It hasn't, but like I looked at my top 10, and it's so hard now to like look at things and go, where does it fit in? It's not quite hit the top 10, but it's the top 20. But I've had 2 rides on it. Like it's the same thing with like Ride to Happiness. I feel like I need more rides than that. You know what I mean? So to really understand where it fits, like
I only did 1 ride, and I have purposely not thought about where I'm placing it. I mean, it's going to go high up, but I've only done 1 ride, and I thought it's incredible, but I need to do more before.
But then I've got Alpengeist, like, you know, number 5, and I did 2 rides on that, and I knew that's going to be like there for in my top 10 forever, probably.
Wait, Alpengeist is your number 5?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, man.
That's sick.
Mate, it's just
I know we did top 25s like 3 episodes ago.
Bingo card. Alpengeist got announced again, and I'm going to say it again. Most anticipated coasters.
And I did 2 rides on that, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just comfortable where it actually is, but I don't know. Like it was the one thing I come off thinking was just like, this is the coaster now. This is when I'm missing a coaster trip, and I want to get that coaster fix that I normally have to go somewhere like to Europe, at least go to Europe. I can, but it doesn't take as long as like fucking packing and going to a European country.
Longer than you.
Yeah, it takes me 2.5 hours, which
takes me 4.
Fly down.
So
it's expensive, but it can work out.
But but it just felt like I was like, that's in this country now. For me, it's 2.5 hours. I can go.
Yeah, I think
coaster fix, and
I can't wait to go back. I don't like Thorpe.
Yeah,
but I can't wait to go back. Like I was there on the Saturday anyway, and it felt like a dream. Obviously, because the whole area was cordoned off, and like it was as if Friday had never happened. And I was like, I walked into the park, and I was like, was yesterday a thing? Because today it feels like it's never happened. Like,
it's so
honestly
sad.
like a dream.
It felt like
imagine if the whole coaster just wasn't there.
Honestly, it felt like I was like, God.
It was just so strange. When obviously it got announced it was an opening, I was like, oh my God, like it did make it almost feel like the day before wasn't real.
Yeah.
It had that weird dream where it's like, oh God, you know, waking up and going, I had a dream that there was like this epic like Mack hyper coaster in Thorpe Park, and like it was like one of the best coasters I've got. And that's actually true.
It wasn't a dream.
But that's what I mean when I say like when I was in the
Hyperia merch.
Yeah. When I was in the queue and just seeing little things like that, I was kind of like, oh, it's a bit of a shame. Do the coaster, it's like none of that. And I even said it last week. I was like, it really doesn't matter. Like that could be in a car park and it would still be just as good, because that's a good layout. It's for me, in terms of like perfect layouts, like that's near. I don't know if you could get a perfect layout, probably could, but like that's near to perfection. Like just how the different elements and in what order they're in, the forces on the body. It's not too much. Like I like too much. Don't get me wrong. Like I think Iron Gwazi is too much, but I like that. But this is just like you could do this. I could do this all day. Every day.
Yeah. It's so
one qualm from the outside looking in, obviously from the perspective of someone who hasn't ridden it yet, there's something that I'm not 100% sold on about it stringing 3 essentially turnaround elements back to back. I feel like there should be an element in between, either in between the drop in the Immelman or the Immelman and the Outer Bank, the Chertsey,
I don't know,
or like in between the Outer Bank and the stall dive. You know what I mean?
Stall dive
I think for the space they had,
and then the dive is like
for the space they had, it makes sense to do what they did.
For the space they had with what they were working in, like I think you'd struggle to get like a more perfect series of elements than what they've done basically. it's almost like a pendulum. That's the way in my head. It's like a pendulum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right,
no, it is. But like, if you
it didn't feel like he was missing anything.
We didn't feel like it was missing anything.
It was like a series of holy shit moments.
Yeah.
Like perfect amount.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
it was on the shorter side, but that doesn't matter.
It didn't feel short.
Was
that's pretty much my only thing. And it's not even a gripe. It's not something that I think is bad about the layout. It's just something that I'm not 100% like all the way sold on. But everything else, like, I mean, there's no other fault you can give to the layout, in my opinion.
No, I mean, the thing is though, they've gone so high, like, and they've got to get it from one side to the other, back again and back again, and then they've got to slow it down enough, you know.
Yeah.
So the way they've done that and designed it is really clever, because that's got to be
like,
packing.
Just there's so many, like, and just
88 mile an hour, is it? 81 or something?
Fast as fuck.
Just including
that DeLorean.
Fast as fuck.
Including that, like, just that cheeky little Stengel dive at the end. It's nice. That, like, there's a lot, you know, there's so many, like,
which,
and I'm like,
if not for the trims, it would probably cause several injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People know about the trims, but the trim is saving lives.
Yeah.
So,
the trim is saving lives.
God, it really is.
I'd rather have that trim than just slam into the brakes like Zardra. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing.
That trim is saving lives. I love that.
But it's
every box with a trim in it should say that. That's what it has.
I love the way Zardra slams into the brakes, by the way.
I mean,
I didn't realize how aggressive it was on my first ride. And
no, me neither. I nearly died on the first one.
I got and then after that, it was
more on
grab the restraint and put myself onto it before I get.
I was just going to ask that question. Is it bad on Gwazi? Should I brace?
For some reason, I enjoy it more on Zardra than I did on Gwazi. I don't know why.
Right.
I nearly headbutted my own knees the first time I came into that brake run.
Yeah.
So let's go for the comment. Let's just quickly go for the comment. I feel like we're leaving the people out.
There's been like a whole proposal.
There's been a proposal.
And
then it's been shut down.
I'd say worst proposal ever. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Okay. So Coaster Claire said at time the breakdowns at 6 and 7 minutes when we were queuing, crazy recovery times. Yeah, they were getting them out.
Impressive.
Yeah, just sending them out empty, getting them back. Laura said she's excited to get on it.
Yeah.
There was no time to think. The lift hill was crazy and fast. There was a lot to take in. Being cheered pre-lift was fun. It's good to see you both as well. It was funny because of all the cattle pens. Like, there's so many people. Like, we were just kept like passing and having little chats to, and then passing again and having little chats to. I think I remember seeing the Heathrow Airport control tower very clearly.
Nice. That's cool.
The first ride, the sense of speed was overwhelming. I didn't really take anything else in that time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Going quick.
Yeah. Joe said she needs a front row ride, definitely.
How many times did you guys ride it?
We did it. Me and Joe and most of us did it twice.
I did it once.
Right.
Because I accidentally got drunk.
No.
Apparently there was
about a
portion of the day where obviously the line was the normal line was as long as it was, but apparently the single rider queue was like 15 minutes for like a portion.
Yeah,
of the day.
there was people getting in like super fast.
A couple of people I've spoken to on Discord like got like 4 or 5 rides in because they were just doing
6. I think someone did 6 rides.
Jack G said he got about 5 in, and he was just he was doing single rider repeatedly. And there's one time where Marcus and Dan and Tom and all that lot. We saw him get in a single rider queue within 15 minutes. All of them were on the back of the train. Like they all got on the train. Like, what is going on?
Is there a front row queue?
There is. But it wasn't open that day.
Right. I think they've kept it closed at the start, and it will be used when it dies down.
Brilliant.
Shut up, Joe.
Martin said I did 6 and prefer the front. 6 goes, prefer the front.
So Joe's calling Emma out.
Yeah,
I'm not got to it yet.
We'll get to it.
I need to go through these comments, man, because we've really ignored the chat. So, yeah, Karen said it throws you out over and around, but it's floaty, though more than forceful. Front and back are fairly comparable, but forces at different points. Front is better overall because of the views. Claire said we finally have a stall in the UK. We finally have proper airtime in the UK. Yeah, it just brings a lot.
And we didn't have to put in a bog standard B&M hyper to do it.
Yeah,
BlackBerry Messenger. That's a throwback.
No, let's get that out of there.
Yeah, let the record show. You don't need just standard up and down airtime hills in order to have a coaster with good airtime.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, like a year ago.
I lost my false tooth on Alpenguy, South Coast of France.
Excellent. Those are the stories we want to hear.
But yeah, single rider queue was being batched with wrap. I wonder if that would be like a continued thing.
Maybe.
I wonder if there's a separate one.
No,
what do you mean batched with RAP? What do you mean?
Wrap.
Ride
That's
access.
the ride access pass.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know what RAP means.
I think saying that
throughout the day, it did seem to keep changing what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were separate queues, but I think they were just letting them both through in like one.
Yeah.
And then...
Maybe it was just to keep the station going.
Aren't you supposed to just fill the gaps in the train with single riders anyway?
Yeah, so if you, I think because some people were getting put on, like I said, I was seeing people getting put on together, so they weren't batching them as single riders; they were putting them on together. But I guess
do you think when it calms down that they will be because obviously from the bottom of the stairs that they will be counting a train through, and then if there's a space, they will let the one through. I'm wondering whether it was just obviously to keep things going. To keep all queues moving.
Yeah.
It was
I think it was just to keep
that many
things
can
going.
go.
Yeah.
Normally they might just count the train through.
Or like they were just putting single riders in the designated RAP row when there were no RAP guests to fill that row.
Maybe
something like that.
I didn't really pay attention.
Yeah.
Potentially.
We come out of our first ride, and because we'd been obviously 5.5 hours, we were just like, let's go get a pint, obviously.
Obviously.
We went and got a pint, and then like me and Jay shortly had to go and work at Legoland for a couple of hours, and then we came back and then got a sunset ride. But at that point, like if we hadn't have gone, I probably would have like gone into the single rider queue, because I think when people started clocking about the single rider queue, I did hear it get up to about 45 minutes in single rider, but it's still better than the hours or whatever. I would have probably definitely. But there's about 19 of us who took over one train. And taking over one train, we had one single rider with us, which was the best time of our life. It was like the noise.
That was my seat. They took my
I'm mine.
It was such.
It would have been mine.
Yeah.
Actually, genuinely would have been yours. Yeah. Strong throw over it.
It was just like, so we were like, we need to get this. We need to do a takeover, a Hyperia opening day. Let's do it. So we did it. And to be fair, because it was like, I think because it cleared through the wrap pass and the fast pass, wrap and single rider had gone way down. And obviously when it's like getting to the end of the night, people tend to get through the fat queue a lot faster, as we know. And the first time we were queuing, it took about 2 hours to get through the actual main line. When we got into the front of the line, I think it was about 2 hours. And it took about an hour to get through it at the end of the night. So like it wasn't as, I think we waited a few hours. That was it. But it was just like magical time. It was just one of the best coaster experiences I've ever had. It seemed like
it was for everyone saying that like it feels like we're an opening day in another country and stuff. Like it definitely had that same like zeal to it. like the entire like getting all the updates and just seeing like everyone's reactions and stuff. It felt like just like any other, you know, world class level coaster opening anywhere else in the world.
It literally felt like we was just watching
all the UK's ever wanted.
Something. Yeah, I mean, I was following it on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and everywhere, and it was just so good to see, and the positives that came out of it, like the community, like really shone. You know what I mean? Like they really did. Even when things were going down and stuff, it was still. There was no, oh, it's gone down again. Fucking hell, I've been waiting here this long. Like, well, none of that. It was just, it was literally like the queue lines didn't exist on social media, but the off-ride reactions did. So it was like, people, I'm getting in the queue. That was insane. Like, they were the two overall things that I noticed online anyway, and it was just lovely to see. I said like a few shows ago, like this is what we've needed for so long, like in this country, and
it would have been.
I've got a
reason.
I've got a reason to go down to Thorpe now, and I've not had one really since the Swamp. Pretty much, like
I mean, let's be honest. You love Thorpe though. It's just a trek for you to get down there, isn't it?
Yeah, I do. When I get there, I have the best time ever. And the Swarm I just adore that ride because it's so different to everything else we've got. So now we've got that and Hyperia in the same park.
Especially now that they've unlocked the vest on Swarm as well.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I'm looking forward to experiencing that.
I did it. I was excited. It was good.
Did it feel better?
Yeah. Like I don't like them restraints in general, so I'm still like, ugh. But it was nice to not be slowly suffocated by my chest all the way around.
Did
I'd have been curious to. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like Hyperia's lap bar, did it get tighter the more you went round, or did it just stay the same?
It was perfect. I mean, I made it tighter going up my lift hill. Don't get me wrong.
Did you?
Halfway up, I was like,
one extra little bit. There we go.
No, it didn't get tighter from what I
was saying the same thing in the chat.
Fucking Helix did. Helix really does do that.
That's so funny. I'm curious to have heard like what like non-enthusiasts will have thought like going into it, like being in the queue line, how they think of it, and then like coming off of it and their reactions and stuff. Because and like Claire had a comment here somewhere, something along the lines of like her colleagues were asking her about if it's safe with just a lap bar and stuff, and it's just a wild, like it's with how in tune we are with how, you know, how restraint mechanisms work, and obviously our coasters work in general and stuff. It's wild to think that like a lot of people still, like, for any coaster that goes upside down, they expect over the shoulder restraints. Like,
do you know what's really bad?
Question whether or not they're going to be safe. If, like, I mean, like the two best coasters in Florida that go upside down don't have.
Velocicoaster got a lot of shit for that, didn't it? Off like general public. Like,
honestly, got a lot of shit from it. It was just like people were just nervous because it was likely the first time that they'd gone on an inverting roller coaster without having over the shoulder restraints.
Like, it's obviously
and now this is going to be this is going to be the same for Hyperia, and a lot of people are, you know, for a lot of just casual theme park goers, like their first experience of an inverting roller coaster with just a lap bar is gonna be Hyperia. The fucking that video that I sent in our chat of the guy and the girl next to him, on the lift, it was just like, it's just a lap bar, it's just a
that is gonna be a big thing, but it adds to that thrill, doesn't it? Really, people are doing it. Like, if people don't do it because there's a lap bar, they wouldn't do it even if there was more than a lap bar.
I'm an enthusiast, and I was still all the way around going, it's a lap bar. Like, I hung out that train, and I was like, shit, like going left or right. I get it, I really do.
It's but it's just incredible. I would say it's like, I don't think this has been overhyped. in the slightest. Like people need to, when they can, obviously, just as the moment you get to go and do it, like go and do it. Like just go and do it because it's out of this world. It's insane.
When I get back, like I've got the Nemesis Reborn VIP experience. Then after that, that's when I'm going to go down. But I'm getting a bit of a cred run because I've never been to Legoland, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, you're not missing much.
Well, I just want to. Well,
I've actually got free creds to get at Legoland.
Yeah, free
creds. The other day, I regretted it. I went to go get the mini speedway things. Oh, it's like the seventh realm of hell is Legoland.
You just don't like it. You just don't like walking uphill. That's the only thing.
There's too many people and too many inclines, and it was too hot, and it was just falling over children.
Are you allowed to get a pint at Legoland? Is that
no?
Not even a Lego one. Could you not walk around with a Lego glass? Like,
like an hour. I think this is like I don't like no one else here is supporting what Emma's saying. Legoland is a lovely park.
I've never been.
I like it. It's not one of my favorite.
I love Legos.
I like it.
It's a lovely park.
Anyway,
see, Matt said it was well busy. It was.
Yeah, because you go into Legoland on a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that. I'm not gonna make the mistake of going on a weekend.
Why would you do that to yourself? Like,
I needed the credits, right? I don't ever go. I was like, well, while I'm there, can't ride Hyperia. Might as well go get +2.
Which is like
everyone who was spiked by Hyperia went to Legoland.
The coaster was lovely. I enjoyed Minifigure Speedway. It was lovely. Don't like the park.
No, you got to go when it's not a bloody Saturday.
I need to go back to take photos of Miniland. That's what I need. That's what I need to do. Because the one time that I went in September in 2021, it pissed it down all day.
Oh.
So we just rode a couple of rides and then went to Thorpe for the rest of the day.
Yeah. There's like no other park you can go to other than the Legoland parks where you can go do some like rides and then go just build Lego for a little bit. Just go.
That's a big go.
Can't go build Lego because there's 40,000 kids in the way. That's why.
Yeah, because you
Did someone steal your pieces? Is that what happened?
I can't bear.
I remember when my friend wanted to go into a clothes shop. Me and my other mate just went into the Lego store, into the table in the middle, and started building. Just random crap. It's great.
Yeah,
can't beat it.
Hello, Isaac. How you doing, mate?
So, Manual Mayhem, that's going to be a new cred as well, and I'm looking forward to that. Being MCO still, but it's not got a rattle.
It's got a bounce instead.
A bounce. So that's gonna be exciting. But yeah, that'll be a proper South trip. So that's gonna be insane. I can't believe I will eventually get to go on Hyperia. It's lovely.
Yeah,
basically, but I think it's gonna be dangerous. So. Yeah. yeah. But
Laura said Mandrill is bad.
I thought it was okay.
Right.
It might.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What do you like about it, Laura? Out of curiosity.
I was supposed to go get it after Legoland, but I was in a mood, so I didn't go. So I still not rode it.
Chesington would have been worse.
No, I think
it's got more space. Chesington's got more wider paths.
And there's less hills at Chessington.
What Chessington have you been to? It's got wider paths. What are you on about?
I just it's just less toddler heavy at Chessington. Like that's all.
It's just because
I've got kids. I just can't bear other people's.
I know. That's what it is.
At least you're fucking honest. Like,
bear them.
No, that's totally fair.
Leave your opinions of Legoland and Chessington adventures in the comments.
Let's quickly talk about obviously the negatives that have come from Hyperia.
As it's closed.
So obviously after on the Saturday, people were queuing up from like 6:30 again. I think people were queuing up.
Ads was at the front of the queue.
Yeah, Martin.
And 9:30, 9:30, the announcement come out that it would not be closing that day. I mean, not be opening that day. Not be closing that day. We're never going to close.
As an announcement, Hyperia will not be closed.
Never closed anymore.
But it might not open.
that swiftly turned into will not be opening until the 29th today. And then was it yesterday, wasn't it? They can't. They said they can't. They said it. They're not necessarily it won't open until they can't commit until it not being open until the 8th. So that is a significant downtime. Let's not beat around the bush. To have one day open and then nearly 3 weeks of it being down is like I just the first thing I want to say is I just feel so flipping sorry. I mean, I don't feel too sorry because they have got it's going to open again. They've still got the best coast in the UK.
Yeah,
so
I'm
not going to shed it. I'm not going to lose.
It was like the biggest influencer day.
Yeah,
for non-influencers, like opening day just made everyone an influencer.
But it's going to be really tough.
The YouTuber experience.
That's what it was. That is what it was. Thorpe Park, the YouTube land.
But I'm just saying, it must be devastating for them. There's a lot of hard work got into it to get it open on time. Do the marketing. There's still adverts going out over. It's a lot. And then I don't think it helps of all the supposedly super fans giving shit. A lot of people have been very understanding. It's these things happen. I know everyone says it, but these things do happen.
Machines, they're gonna break at some point.
Nemesis was having trouble for a couple of weeks. It was down on and off all the time. It just happens, right?
Look at opening night of Nemesis. That was just prime example. It was a cock up in communication through the queue line, but it reopened, but it went down for a while, a long time. And then people were on that lift hill, I don't say too much negativity about it, but I was in that queue line in the rain for an hour and a half and we got escorted out of it. And some people got to ride it. And that didn't happen at Hyperia. They ran it through the day, went down a couple of times and then ran it through.
What Park put on Twitter saying that their new ride was open?
Oh, Drayton. They were like, you can come and
was it Drayton saying the wave was open?
Yeah.
I've got so much.
Gotta do it.
Funny as hell.
Gotta do it.
That shit.
At least he didn't park a van up there saying beat it by 1 foot.
Yeah.
Damn right, lies.
I think that was an incredible move on Pleasure Beach's part.
That was quite.
It was petty as fuck, and that is the
shame the park doesn't back up the fucking effort through that marketing though. Just doesn't.
I know, it was great.
Yeah, it was good. It was, it was funny, but
yeah. So if you didn't know about this,
it's probably
on Hyperia's opening day. There's a van parked outside of our screen. I'll try and find the image now.
It was driving around and parked outside.
I posted it in our WhatsApp. I think I posted it in the WhatsApp.
I've got it here now. This is parked. It was driving around. No, not that one.
That's not
a different van.
It's a nice one.
There it is.
So, beating the big one's tallest roller coaster record by 1 foot. How petty.
Almost as petty as hiring this van.
I feel like the van's a bit more petty, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny.
Especially given the state of your park.
I think it's brilliant.
I'm all up for Coaster Wars.
Yeah. Oh, what? 100%. Round two.
It can only benefit us.
We're going
to be honest, I think the funnier Coaster Wars would just be each park, just each year adding a foot to the ride. Just retracking it and adding a foot each time. Just slowly building
I'm
do that with the big one.
What an absolute waste of money that would be.
It would be fucking hilarious.
But they're retracking it anyway. They're retracking the big one anyway. You might as well.
That's British humour right there.
Yeah.
Each time.
I'm
Neighbour Wars. Do you remember Bad Neighbour, the program? They just do petty shit. This is the equivalent of it for theme parks.
I'm pretty sure that Amanda's already tried to inquire on how they can lower the sea level around Blackpool.
Instead of lifting the track, they're going to lower the sea level.
Amanda's just going to get a big fucking wet vac. Just go down.
Tide's out. He's 20 foot taller now.
Quick, measure it now.
Quick measuring.
Tide's all the way out there, fucking island.
Oh no!
How did you get the tape measure out?
Rob just said Thorpe start running fossil fuels constantly to raise sea level.
Yeah, that was very surprising. When I saw the pictures of the van, I was like, "That is mental that I've done that." It's so funny though. It's so Pleasure Beach, and I love it.
It is, and there needs to be more Pleasure Beach. Like that is, that's what they need to be. Like they need to go back to their old quirky ways, not shit marketing, quirky shit. There's a difference.
Yeah.
We just hope it reopens as soon as it can, and the engineers are on site and Mac are there, and I'm sure they're doing everything 24/7 to get that thing, because of the success of that day and the press night. Like it was unmatched, I think. For anything that's ever opened in the UK, it's unmatched, and the overall positivity. I mean, we've not even talked about the merch. Like some of the merch was incredible.
I didn't get to see it.
What I saw, you didn't get to see. You saw a
the queue
blurry
was 8
map.
miles long, and I went back on Saturday. We weren't allowed in the shop, so
wow.
There was some merch in the mega store, but it was, in my opinion, the crapper stuff, not the good stuff.
Everyone who I saw post something on social media, either had a hat on, a t-shirt, a hoodie, or they bought a pin, or I
bought a pin. That was all I saw.
Yeah, so it's just a success story, isn't it? But with this little bump in the road, and then once that's gone, problem solving. Once it's solved, boom, you got the best coaster in.
I think it's going to draw
ask a very honest
for a very
question.
long time.
I want to ask a very honest question. Obviously, on opening day, when everyone's so energetic and excited about the ride, rightly so, we look over the efforts that have been put into the area, which in some ways does look quite nice. It looks nice. It looks nicely cleaned up and everything.
Yeah.
After the steam of obviously when it's opened up again, and after the steam of the excitement of it opening and stuff, are we still gonna not care too much about the fact that the buildings in the plaza look really basic? Because
it's a good question.
Sean, I remember you put something in our chat about it, and I had already seen videos on YouTube about it as well. In terms of the building and the merch inside the buildings looks really good. Looks really nice.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
But
the whole shop looks really nice.
The infrastructure of the plaza looks not great.
I think the one thing that stood out to me
better than it was.
I think needs to be, which I wish, hopefully something I can do in the future, is I wasn't a fan of the maintenance shed. The fact that Find Fearless is the first thing you see when you're going up to it. It's just a big black wall.
I hate that phrase.
And
I'm sorry, but I hate it.
It's not
find it, Kyle.
You
just got to find your fearless, mate. That's what you got to do.
Once you found it, you love it.
You can't find your fearless just yet. You got.
It's like the rarest Pokemon now. You're never going to get it.
But no, I think honestly, all they need to do is just clad it with the same stuff that the Burger King has been cladded in, and the new toilets. Just clad it up. That's all they need to do. It's just a big black void at the minute, and that is the first thing I looked at, and I was just, it don't look great to me. And yeah, I think if they do that, it's fine. The rest of it, again, it's gonna grow over time.
The landscaping around the queue line, I actually thought.
They need to put top. They need to put
obviously knowing that it's gonna...
need to put actual topsoil down first, because nothing will grow. It's hard.
With the knowledge that it is going to grow in.
Now we're talking my language.
Grass. I'm your man.
Let's go. Yeah, no, it needs to go in.
What I was going to say is, with the knowledge that it will eventually grow in, it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, it will. No,
it looks,
especially around the lake.
It's just the buildings.
The buildings, they just need. I think they need to clad it. I think they need to clad the station. Looks nice, the way it is in situ, in context of the rest of the area. With the,
I'm gonna need to see the inside of the station.
It's not. I really like the inside of the station. Think Icon Station. I think Icon Station, but like a little bit more. Like they've done a little bit more in there with the projection.
It was funny because like when I was watching like vlogs of it and stuff, just immediately entering into the station and then just like looking around and like taking everything for just like that blanket like first glance, I remember thinking they looked a little bit tacky. But then when like people got up close to like the actual like wall decorations, like you can see like the protrusion, like you can see the backlighting on like the wings and stuff. And I'm like, okay, it does actually look like pretty well done. So I need to see it. I need to see it in person, and it's probably going to look much better in person than it does on video.
Yeah, legit.
We'll see.
I feel the same, Kyle, because I was like, it reminded me of a bit like Sick in some bits of it.
Well,
At first, I was getting those same kind of.
I do stand by the fact that, like, let's not be too. From my perspective, I don't think we should be too critical on it because, like, again, I-305 is a literal shed. Like, it's not even a shed. Beams. Like, there's nothing to it. There's no theming around it.
Pantheon doesn't even have a
look at Pantheon.
Literally.
I've not got too much to shout about with Fury 325 station.
That's what. But what I'm saying is, when you get to these mega like Pantheon, I could understand the annoyance of that because you compare that to Tutatis, it's not on the level of these bigger coasters, right? But like Tutatis did it right, with their station, they went all out. You got like Conda, for example, they went all out on their station. That's really nice. But then it's like when you get to these beasts, like it doesn't really matter as long as they can just keep it looking nice and
no cobwebs.
The context of the context of the ride, like the context of the quality of the ride matters. The context of the park that it's at matters. This goes back to the point I was making like last week or the week before or whenever. Like, if like Pantheon's lack of theming and lack of effort into its theming is such a glaring flaw because of the park it's at. If it was at a Cedar Fair park, I wouldn't really care that much. But because it's at Busch Gardens, which has held such a high standard of theming and landscaping for so many years, it feels so much more egregious to me. I don't really care about I-305's station being all basic as all hell because it's at King's Dominion. Like I don't expect the same level of thematic integrity that Busch Gardens Williamsburg holds.
So that being said,
as I've said about Thorpe moving forward, I don't really think of it as a theme park. I think of it as an amusement park. Like
it's kind of in between at the minute. It's kind of like a very like in between stage because like Bigger Easy Boulevard looks nice with all the fresh new colors and stuff. The place like where Ghost Train is now with the graffiti wall. That's kind of like a nice area. That's like their version of FY4 at Blackpool. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of just like it's kind of an area that just exists that is very amusement park-esque but works.
Yeah.
Then you got Swarm Island, very highly themed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends. Like it's a weird one. That's why I've always said like it'd be such a good place just to go full out studio park. Because like with a studio park, you can go from one area of just being like nothing to then just being like heavily themed in one area. Do you know what I mean? Like
I
kind of feel like I feel like it's that way in a way. But I've got like a lot of confidence that like Thorpe know where their vision is, and they'll get to it. It's just going to be a waiting game, isn't it? Really.
Priority now is
like comparing, like even comparing like you know, the area of like Six Flags parks where, you know, you have all like the superhero coasters and stuff. Like comparing Hyperia to that is like leaps and bounds above anything like that. Like it still feels like a nice place to be. Like it's got the bark. They're going for like a kind of almost like naturey theme, and once it comes through, I still believe, you know, I do get what everyone's saying. Like it should just be ready, and I'm waiting. But I think the bark was a good shout.
Yeah,
like having that bark down, like, it's like genius. It's like suddenly turned it into like, you know, this like horrible mud pit to like somewhere that felt like a bit nice. You know, sitting in that queue, like sitting and standing in that queue was a nice place to be because they made it nice. So it was, again, it's just one of them where when I was walking around to begin with, I was like, oh god, this, you know, I was seeing all the negatives and stuff because I've also been waiting for like 4 hours. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh god, and seeing all these bits and seeing all the negatives. But as soon as you get on that ride, you're like, who cares?
Obviously, you don't care.
Who actually cares? Like we have this incredible coaster in the UK that we've never had anything close to it. I mean, Nemesis is close to it, but again, that's more like a themed experience. It always has been. It's like there's nothing else like Nemesis in the world. It's a weird one for me.
I think I think Thorpe have outdone themselves doing things that they didn't have to do with this ride. You know, in terms of the dispatch sequence and all that kind of stuff as well, which we haven't talked about.
That needs
They didn't need to do that. Didn't need to do it, but they did it. You know, they're thinking, right, let's put this extra bit in. You know, we can do this shit. And I think like
fucking in that dispatch sequence, because like I mean, like we could speaking on like what they didn't have to go out of their way to do. Like the dispatch sequence could just been some lights just flashing around. It could have just been smoke coming out from underneath the platforms and stuff. The fact that they had a projection mapping fucking like show basically on the front part of the station where like it looked like the wings were getting like forged with you know, like molten oil or whatever the fuck. Like that shit looked cool as hell. Yeah, like that shit looked cool as hell.
And it's nice that like they thought about the late night openings, because at night that thing looks insane. Like because the
way it's lit
station had the so dispatch lighting as well.
But even inside, like because it makes the station dark inside as well. So then like the projection mapping looks even more vivid. You got the smoke. You've got the row of like LEDs where the train comes in, so you can see that like and that like smoke as it's coming up.
And it plays a soundtrack as well, doesn't it? When it comes in and when it leaves, which is cool. You know, that's building anticipation big time.
It's really surprising because I'd not looked at any of the inside station before and in there. And when in there, I was just like, everyone like talking about like can't wait to get on the coaster, and Joe's like, "Oh, Sean, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Have you seen that?" And, like I felt like I was the only person like looking around, and like I was like, I did not expect it to be like that well. Right? Like I really like the station.
And just to be clear, to Wallen Ballin's comment, which hi Wallen, I spoke to you in a minute.
Hello.
Just such a perfect example of the differing standard of values between America and Europe. Like, yes, to a degree, but that's not what we're talking about. Like it's contextual. It's contextual to each park, not to the countries. Is the point I'm making? Because if yes, to some degree, the quality and like stature and the magnitude of the coaster, like that makes up for a lot of like the degree to which we care about theming or lack thereof or anything. But you are not going to sit here and tell me that if Hyperia was at Alton Towers, just ignoring the height restriction stuff. If Hyperia was on Towers, you are not going to sit here and tell me that no one would have anything to say about the lack of theming compared to something like Nemesis, compared to something like Smiler, compared to something like Wicker Man. Like we're not gonna do all that. I made the example of I-305 versus Pantheon, two coasters that are within an hour of each other in Virginia, and we don't care. Like, I'll speak for myself. I don't really care about the lack of theming on I-305. I do care a whole lot about the lack of theming on Pantheon.
Right.
You know.
But I think, that is that not a
there is like
is there's a combination of like Pantheon is a it's not really got a main draw. It's smaller. Like it's going back again to like what is the draw of a coaster, and again like you're saying, I know what you're saying, McCall. Like you expect more from like Williamsburg because it's a beautiful park. But then they've done Pantheon, which is like, yeah, it's a good coaster, but it needs more. It needed to be Tutatis style, like. But then they've done like flipping Dark Coaster, which is just goddamn, like it's so bad. Like they fumbled.
Well, I guess
Dark Coaster, they fumbled to fucking hell on that thing. Yeah. Like going around that park and seeing like. I mean,
and that's like,
look at Alpengeist. Like, look at how they managed to theme that up to a flipping ski lift, and like going even around the area and things that you hit, like the near misses and stuff, and just seeing the snow in certain parts and things. Like
that is indicative of the managing changes that Busch Gardens and SeaWorld parks have gone through since they were owned by Anheuser-Busch and now being owned by.
You just
touched on calling themselves these days United Parks or whatever the fuck. I don't give a crap. But no.
But like
it's what we've come to expect from Busch Gardens. Well, Busch Gardens, both Busch Gardens parks in general, but like Busch Gardens, Williamsburg particularly,
because that is like a stunning park, and it was just a big thing when I was there. I was like looking at it, and I was like, in the context of wider Williamsburg, it's just so different. But I know what you're saying. But I think like at least we're not talking about Hyperia being just like a slab of like black tarmac. It's just like a big heat trap. That's not what it is really. Like they have tried to make.
They've tried to do stuff. Yeah, they've tried to. I think they know. I think they know that that's expected of Thorpe to a degree. They did great with the Swarm, Ghost Train. Let's not forget that. That's one of the most themed things in the UK when it was done.
Yeah.
From Darren Brown anyway. From that bit, like that was so well themed. So they can do it. They just need to pick what they do it to and how they do it. And I think what they've done with Hyperia is the coaster speaks for itself. That will draw people in.
Mm-hmm.
We've built a shop. We can sell merch like that. So it's
some of those shirts look so good, man.
They look amazing, but that's down to the marketing and
my bank account is like, no.
I will openly admit I've given Thorpe shit for the shit marketing that they've done for this coaster in terms of like the build up for it. Over the last 2 weeks,
I don't think it was shit. I think it was just a bit confusing. That's all.
Yeah, all right, confusing, but to me that feels shit. Personally, to me that feels shit. But over the last 2 weeks, it ramped and ramped and ramped and ramped and ramped. And then when you saw everything that they've been doing in the background, like all the screens, all of the dispatch sequences, the projection like mapping, like you say, and then the shop when they showed off like the retail space and stuff, it's like, yeah, okay, like this is great. This is really good. And I think what they've done is enough. And when it all grows in naturally with surroundings and the pond and everything gets more and the trees get up there, and I think it's enough. And I think it'll just all tie in and just be really,
I think,
really like fluid when you get to that area of the park.
With the addition of like one coaster and the TLC with the Sparkle project they've done over the summer, like I can understand why people would say this is the best park in the UK. It's not my favorite park in the UK. For me, it will always be Alton Towers because there might be sentimental reasons there. But it's for me, I don't think there's any park in the world like Alton Towers. You've got a flipping castle in the middle of it. I know it's not a castle technically, but let's just say it's a castle. It basically is a castle. You've got all this nature everywhere. It's like a garden. It's but it's got like all this history, like for like coaster geeks, like all this history of like the world's first for ages. Forbidden Valley is like one of the best areas I've been to, just in terms of. Yeah, it is one of the best areas, I think. You've got Curse at Autumn Manor, which is actually one of my favorite dark rides in the world. Just everything.
It's definitely the most all-encompassing park in the country.
It's just, for me, there's still. I've worked that park now for years, and you'd think the magic would like disappear. It hasn't. So it's just, for me, it's got a bit of everything. But if you're wanting to go to an American-style park with big rides, big thrills, having a nice day out, like that's where Thorpe Park has got it.
Yeah,
and with the addition of like that, with Hyperia,
and that's why I've always compared it to Cedar Fair Park, because that's like in essence is what it is.
They've nailed it. Like they've fully nailed it, and
it's just like enough to put them over that threshold of like this coaster is. It's just enough. Like it's perfect, and I can't wait to ride it.
Yeah.
And to your point about towers, Ads had a good to Merlin actually, had a good comment saying like this is a Nick Varney era project with the budgets to match. Like the Merlin of today would take a different approach to area design, and so which is probably worth keeping.
I disagree slightly about that, because at the end of the day, like Nick Varney retired a while back now. Who see these projects through are like very much in the now. So I don't think it's like, oh, Nick Varney's signed this off. This is the final thing. We can't ever deviate from this.
Yeah,
literally not what happened. Like,
you know,
Forbidden Valley was meant to be, we're going to do Nemesis, nothing else. They then decided during the project, let's now revamp the area. So it hasn't got anything to do. Like Nick Varney signed the project off. Yes, got the ball rolling, but it's very much like a massive team effort.
There's a huge team involved. Yeah. Huge team.
So I don't think it's that. I think it is just like, guess what? Hypercoasters are bloody expensive. It takes a while, and maybe you do run out of budget, and then maybe you go, okay, well, let's see where we get. Like, let's get people through the door.
Let's see what we can include.
And we'll start.
I think that area will just keep getting better and better over the years.
Better and better.
Yeah, it will.
Because people are going to come from everywhere to ride this ride. And if you come in, it's exactly the same, the area, every single time you visit. And there's nothing new around there other than the ride as well. It's going to, put a few people off. And I think what they're doing with Forbidden Valley Towers is completely the opposite to that, is they just keep adding and adding and adding and adding. And every time they add the smallest little bit of detail, the whole area, the ride, the park, get this boost of like, out there to people who've probably never seen it before, and to the public. And there it is. That's your next person coming to the park. And it's all part of bringing it all together. And I think it will keep happening. There'll be vending machines pop there. Someone will go crazy about that. There'll be new bins. There'll be fucking shade somewhere, for summer that they'll add to it and stuff like that. It'll just keep getting better and better and better. And it'll just push Hyperia again.
It'd be nice to have like a little like seating area around that area.
Exactly. Yeah. Which they probably know that, and they probably think, right, well, not first year.
Matt said the same thing.
Yeah.
You want a seating area to sit and have a pint and watch the course.
It's probably that, and the Swarm are probably going to be the most funnest coasters to watch at the park. Like, obviously, like Colossus's rolls as well. They're pretty cool to watch. But
Stuff's launched, to be fair, as a vibe to sit and just see.
Yeah,
people
that is. Yeah, but
shitting themselves.
Yeah. But like, if you could sit down towards the end of the park, you've got so much movement going on. You have Hyperia, Saw, Colossus, Samurai. Like, there's so much going on if you were just chilling around there. Maybe that's what they should do with the Slammer area. Just fuck that off and just build a big bar.
Yes, please.
We'll put another ride there. I did see someone say, do you think they'll actually make it Fearless Valley by pinning the area between two big rides?
Just do something
Hyperia,
with it.
Just Slammer area.
It's a bigger area than you give it credit for as well. It's just
it is
like nothing. It's just a dormant flat ride.
Sean just random bit of
let's all get
the
the
fucking
splash,
gauntlet
the
thing.
Well, it's so satisfying to watch it, isn't it?
the guillotine, as I call
That'd
it.
be well fun to sit and watch all day.
Get one of them in there.
Sweat through.
I love that. Riders stay dry, but everyone else.
But everyone else
gets
watching.
fucked.
Yeah, there needs to be like
That couldn't be
100
lake
meter
water,
each
though.
way.
No, that would have to be fresh.
Oh, yeah,
That
fuck
couldn't
it.
be lake water. It could be long as deep water.
Absolutely not.
No. Yeah.
Cool.
Matthew,
Right.
no, shut up.
Oh, Zampella are
Charles
building
Charles.
something that looks like a bean. That's
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah,
the top of the
that's
show.
Oh well.
That was the only
Yeah.
bit of news.
Zampella are basically building a skyrocket.
Yeah.
Cool.
pretty-
That's it.
pretty much.
That's the news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for that.
came out a greenish brown splash. Yes, that's what it would be.
We'd all have a terrible stomach after that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Are we good?
Cool.
I
I think we're good.
Everyone happy?
A full
us,
Hyperia episode, basically.
Yeah, let us know your Hyperia stories
knew it
from
was gonna
day
be,
or
to be
press night in the comments and on our socials. You can find us everywhere. But yeah, it's been fun. I won't be here next week. I'm in Florida, so I'm the week after.
Yeah, okay,
Quasi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big cred run. Big cred.
Yeah. You did a thingy, didn't you?
I did everything else apart from Bush. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've done a. Oh my god, what I can't think of what it's
Oh,
called.
you get to go.
Better actually get there this time.
Oh, Uber.
Because
It's happening.
you didn't plan to go last.
Get
Oh,
the
it-
free
it's-
shuttle buzz, man.
No,
Free
we're getting the
shuttle
shuttle. We're getting the shuttle there. We're getting Uber back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have fast passes as well, which is just insane.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hopefully, when he. Well,
James,
actually,
James is
hopefully-
counting on you.
I hope I get
He's
on it.
supposed to write first MCs, the first RMCs this year.
Yeah. James'
What else?
Sarges and mine's going to be Quasi.
Is this your first? Yeah, this is your first
My
RMC.
first RMC.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Both
It is
within a
starting
few
with
weeks of each
Quasi.
other.
This is what I've been saying.
RMCs.
Oh my God.
I'm literally going like Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then straight to like after them 2 days, I'll be going to Busch Gardens and just riding out in
Just want
Quasi.
to say, like, just so you all know, because I've already got it up because I was looking at it earlier. There we go, number one.
Oh,
Quasi.
Well, look at that
Okay.
cheeky fly there. I like it.
So, yeah.
Mm.
There you go.
Hyperion
And
12.
Hyperia is down here. It could go up.
I was waiting for you to just drag it all the way down there.
No, staying where it is for now.
Can you please go
What's
back
the- what's
and
the-
ride
what's the
Ride to
count at?
Happiness? Because that upsets me.
What's your count at?
Um,
the moment?
3:15, I think.
Wow.
Oh, I'm catching up with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
shit.
not been anywhere for a while.
Yeah,
but when I
neither have I.
do, you know, it's going to be a trip where I get like 40 in one go. So
Hold on, you got 70 in one go this year, and I'm still now only like what 12 behind you.
yeah, because that's because you spend your whole life tracking down wacky worms, and guess what? You've run out of them because you couldn't
I
find
have
one to do
Ever-
before
did go on it,
Hyperia. You can't
but
find
ne-
any more. Like you're
next-
screwed. Guess
next
what?
to
I
where-
could
Go
go
further
out.
down
I could spend like
Right,
the
some
next
wacky
like
worms.
I could spend this year doing all them like little traveling rides that you've done.
Yeah, but you won't because you're not
Then-
as petty as me.
Watch. Emma, when you eventually make it over to the US,
Oh, it's game over for sure.
let me know, and we'll like because that trip is just going to turn into like no Six Flags parks, no Cedar Fair parks, no Busch Gardens, no Dollywood, no Silverdale City, just straight family entertainment centers from start to finish. SPF visas,
Hell yeah.
fucking
I'm down.
Pinfari loop.
That's just my idea of a fantastic day out.
This is my idea. Very nice day out.
Brilliant.
Just a tour of SECs up and down the East Coast and in the Midwest
Watch me.
for 2 weeks straight.
I'll stay for a month. Whatever. I'm not asked. I get all.
Yeah, so, Bart is,
Coaster Wars.
so Bart is coming over to the UK
Yes.
to experience some of the coast.
Oh, nice.
I will see
I
you.
fingers
Oh.
crossed we'll see you at some point. But
Yeah. Yeah, hope we
I'll
see
be
you
seeing
as
him,
well.
and hopefully we'll be getting a soft opening of Hyperia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sure, Matt. I'm sure you're taking him to Drayton, right?
Drayton
Yeah.
is in the plan, I believe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if we're available, we'll definitely come down for that. So there we go. Cool.
Nice.
Are we done?
We're done. We're good.
All good.
Oh, 1 second. God, I've not watched that since I've done it. It gives me goosebumps now.
Fucking loud.
I was not ready.
Sorry for podcast listeners. It's just in the traffic there with the red light, the windows down in the summer. Boom.
It all gets EQ'd. It all goes through the dynamics for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's all fine. It's all leveled out. Got a limit on it. It's all good. So there we go. Right, close the show, Luke.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. There's been over 40 people watching throughout the show, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much. If you're not subbed, please do. And follow us in all podcast formats. We'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.